Hi, I'm Rabbi Lisa Delson,
I'm Cantor Annie Rose.
and this is our 7th and final week of our Counting the Omer video blog. This week we are going to be talking about leadership.
All of us need to be leaders at some point in our lives. We might not think of ourselves as leaders all the time, but we need to take the lead. We need to know how to be in charge when the time is right. So we started processing, where are the great models of leadership? Where do we look to understand what a great leader is? And we thought of the Torah, and that of course led us to thoughts of Moses.
Moses is a complicated character in the Torah. He at first doesn't want the leadership that God was giving him and that the people were giving him, but eventually he rose to the occasion, and we all know of the great things that we learn about from him. A few of the different aspects of his leadership lead us to realize what it would take for us to be a similar kind of leader, however we know we will never be. One of the really great things that we learn from Moses is that he delegates the tasks. He doesn't say that he's going to do everything, but eventually he says he needs help from the advice of his father-in-law, and he also takes help from his brother Aaron, who helps him speak and also takes care of all of the priestly actions. Another way that Moses is a good leader is that he takes a healthy amount of self-examination. Every leader should have the opportunity and should take the opportunity to realize what is important and what is going on in their leadership. Are they leading everybody in the way that they should be, or are there some sort of things that are lacking? Another way that Moses is a good leader is that he trusts God, and he knows that God trusts him. Obviously, we might not have the exact same way of feeling that in our daily lives, because it's not a book and it's not saying God told him to do this. But we can also use some of the lessons that we've talked about in past weeks and use those to trust in God a little bit more. And finally, the last thing that Moses has taught us in terms of leadership is the fact that he has guts. He doesn't stand in the background and say, well, maybe it'll happen eventually. But he really does take a lead in difficult situations and does so with a great amount of strength.
So we're hoping that those ideas of leadership can kind of roll in with some of the other traits that we've looked at for being a positive person, for finding the best in ourselves over these 7 weeks. Certainly in leadership, finding a way to be a positive leader and to bring about positive change really takes us back to other things we've talked about. Finding our inner core of strength and trusting ourselves, relying on ourselves, knowing that deep inside of us we do have the answers we need, and we need to know when to ask as well, when to ask for help. So looking back over all of the weeks, I know that we've enjoyed examining all these different topics and hoping to bring into our own lives all of the positive traits that we can as we go forward from here.
So we wanted to leave our last video session with a few questions that you might want to ponder on your own, and that we also are going to be asking ourselves if our practice and if our preparation for Shavuot through this study of the Omer has changed us in any way. So the first question is, are we ready to receive wisdom and teaching on Shavuot? The whole idea of Shavuot is that we're receiving the Torah from Mount Sinai, and just taking a look inside and seeing, are we really ready to have this as part of our lives?
The second question is, what have we learned most about ourselves? And recognizing things we might not like about the way we're being, and things that we want to change. Some things rapidly and some things over time. So by looking at what we've learned about ourselves, we can analyze that and see how to go forward from here.
Mm-hmm. And the last question is related to the first. Are we ready to take what we've learned past Shavuot and onto our next period of self-examination in September for the High Holy Days? We know it's very far away from now. We're going to have a wonderful summer, but just to realize that these aren't lessons that should be left after 7 weeks, but they should hopefully stay with us as we continue our Jewish calendar year.
And we're happy to say that Rabbi Delson is going to be leading a Tikkun Leil, and maybe she'll tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this year we're going to be talking about the internet and halakha, and we are going to be reading an article from The Atlantic, which is called
How has Google
Changed Our Thinking? Anyway, it's on our website, and we're also going to be talking about issues of privacy and other issues related to internet and email that will make us hopefully better people. And that's on June 7th from 8 to 10 p.m. and there will be cheesecake. So that's always good.
Great.
So we can say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Have a great week and a wonderful holiday.
Thanks, everybody.